Hey guys, so it's week 7 here, bringing you another vlog for the Division 1 Fantasy Football League. After 6 weeks, Kevin has got his place up at the top of the standings at 5-1. Schnell, Bill, and Max are 4-2, and then everyone else. It's a pretty big cluster from there, so definitely a race to the playoffs. These next few weeks are going to be important. So let's jump right into the recap from last week. The first matchup that we had, I played Doyle, and my team won, 110-92. I actually had Pete in this matchup, but some big performances out of Tom Brady, LeGarrette Blount, Jimmy Graham, and Jonathan Stewart really pulled my team back to claw up to 3-3 and stay in it right now. Doyle had some disappointing performances. Macklin, he's concussed, and it's looking like he might not play this week either, so that's not good. Le'Veon, with easily his worst game of the year, didn't help. McCoy, though, he came back and he played pretty well for you, so that's a bright spot. Alright, the next matchup that we had was Bill versus Steven, and Billy pulled this out 110-105. I had Steve in this one, so 0 for 2 so far. This all came down to Monday night, where Sam Bradford played just well enough to get Bill the win. Odell had a great drive to start out. It was looking like maybe Steve might pull this one out, but Bill got it. Also, his production from his new Jets players, Marshall and Ivory, I think he'll take that 40 combined every week. All right, and the third matchup that we had, it was Kevin versus Mikey, was first versus last. I had Kevin in this one, and he dominated. Dropped 147. I mean, just great all-around performance by his guys. His worst two people, 7 and 8 points, were his defense and kicker, so got to take that every week. Mikey put up 116. You just faced the wrong opponent, so you just got to hope your team comes out and shows that next week. And the next matchup we had was Max versus Brian, and I went with Max and got this one right, as he won 120-92. Max, Greg Olson did well for you, 19. Forte, his 17. And Rogers, his stud self, helped you out. Had a pretty easy win over Brian this week, whose team, after their 1 week explosion against me, went back to being shitty. And Brian is now in last place, so let's see how that works out for him. Alright, the last matchup that we had was Schnell versus Matt. And I went with Matt this week, I went with Schnell this week, but I was wrong, as Matt's team thoroughly dominated, 154-107. Matt just got contributions from everyone. I mean, Newton with 25. Hopkins, who's looked like he's the best receiver in football right now, got 27. And then, yeah, just great production out of everyone else. So, big win for you right there. Schnell no longer tied for the best record. So, yeah, let's see if he can climb back up there. All right, now jumping into week 7. First matchup that we have this week is me versus Max. And I am going with my team this week. Not really confident in my team, just that Max is just hurting with buys and injuries right now, as he's got Rogers, Sanders, Forte, Devontae Adams, and McManus all on bye. Watkins, he's hurt, so it's not look like he's going to play. Yeah, I mean, I've got Demaryius on bye, so my weak receiving core is even weaker this week. Don't think they can do much worse, though, so let's see if I can get some points out of someone from the wide receivers. Alright, the next matchup we've got Billy versus Schnell. A couple 4-2 teams. Whoever wins this one really has an advantage the rest of the year. When it comes to buys, Schnell, he's got AJ Green and James Jones, so his wide receivers are looking a little weak right now. Bill could really use Big Ben back, as Tyrod Taylor once again isn't supposed to play. And you were down probably your best player, the Broncos defense, so that's a bummer for you. I am going with Schnell to win this one. I think it'll be close, though. Alright, the next matchup we have Steve versus Mikey. And when it comes to buys, Steve's got Lacey and starts, and Mikey's got just a boatload of people: Dalton, Anderson, Jeffrey, Bernard, and Hillman. Let's see. Mikey, all those guys out might hurt you. Keenan Allen might not play. You could really use him. Melvin Gordon, he is also questionable. So let's see what happens to him. But in a bye-stricken week, I'm going with Steve on this one. Alright, the next matchup we've got is, once again, a first versus last matchup. And I'm going with Kevin, because Brian's team sucks. And that's the bottom line. Alright. Next matchup, the last one we have this week, actually, is Matt versus Doyle. So, when it comes to buys right now, Matt, no one that really hurts you. Dez is still out, of course, so you could really have him come back. Pete, you've got Cobb and Peyton Manning out, which is probably a good thing, because Manning has just blown this year. Deshaun, probably not going to play again. He's been out for like 6 straight weeks, so that's tough. Macklin, concussed, probably is not going to play, so you could use another backup wide receiver, which you don't have one right now, so that could be a problem. But besides that, I think it'll be pretty close. Because of that Macklin injury and Cobb on bye, I am going with Matt this week, and I think he gets to 4-3. Alright guys, so that was another week. So let's see how this one goes. Remember, be happy and stay positive.